MD Prepper here, talking about rifles for self-defense. Now, most people would immediately hear a rifle for home defense and self-defense and think ridiculous, terrible idea. Well, I'm going to lay out an argument here. If you've got an AR-15 chambered in 5.56, you might have a very handy home defense package sitting in your safe. Might actually be a better option than your shotgun in many ways. Now, generally for home defense, people think of handguns and shotguns, frankly, as the first two choices. They have some benefits, and they also have some downsides. I'd say that the AR-15 is probably a better balance of those options, especially in the 5.56 caliber. First of all, let's talk about lethality. Of course, double-aught buckshot is certainly lethal, works very well, as does a slug. But recoil is pretty punishing. If you can handle that, that's fine, that's great. But what if other members of your household can't handle a shotgun effectively? What if you're not around? Well, I'm going to use the shotgun. Well, yeah, okay, well, what about your wife or girlfriend or, you know, your teenage children, something like that? If they can't handle the shotgun, that's probably not what they need to be using for self-defense. Anybody can handle the recoil of an AR-15. No problem there. Grandmothers, the elderly, anybody can handle this, okay? So, useful for all members of the family. Same thing goes for handguns. You got your big bad 45 1911. Well, what if your girlfriend or your wife or whoever can't shoot it? Well, again, AR. You can probably handle the recoil on this. So, lethality of the round, obviously the 12 gauge is very lethal. Well, so's an AR-15 round. Works just fine. And I got more ammo. So, well, I don't need but 5 rounds, let's say, is your average for your shotgun, let's say. Well, you probably don't need more than 5 shells. That's probably right. But I'd rather have 30 rounds. Just because 30 is better. If you choose a handgun for self-defense on your home nightstand, you say, well, I got my Glock. Well, it's got 15 in it, plus one of the pipes, 16. I got 30. You say, I don't need that much. Doesn't matter. What would you rather have? $5, $15, or $30? Doesn't matter if I only need 5. I'd rather have 30. I'd rather have it not need it than need it not have it. So you've got capacity there. Now, somebody's going to make the argument of over-penetration of the rounds. Great. Glad you're going to bring that up, but check the link in the section below, and there's actual FBI ballistics data on bullet penetration, especially once it goes through drywall. That's what you're worried about, is the round going on past somebody and hitting somebody in the next room. Well, guess what, guys? The best round for low penetration of reasonable defensive choices is the 5.56. Even in the M855 62 grain loadout. So even in that penetrator load, which the government likes to call it, or ATF, I guess, it still penetrates less. Once it goes through drywall, the AR-15 round here, the 62 grain FMJ, only penetrates about 20 centimeters of ballistic gelatin. If you look at the stats on it, it's really most of it at 15. You just got some fragments that carry on to the 20 centimeter mark. All the rest go way past the lethal mark of 30 centimeters. A 9mm jacketed hollow point penetrates 50 centimeters. A 45 jacketed hollow point goes around 60 centimeters penetration. A Federal double-aught buck 12 gauge with 9 pellets, the shell penetrated somewhere between 45 and 50 centimeters. So, why are we talking about a rifle round having too much penetration? It doesn't, at least in an AR-15 5.56. You can go for even lighter loads. The thing about the AR-15, it's a very lightweight round, traveling very fast. So once it goes through that drywall, it loses momentum very, very quickly. Check the link below. It goes into much more detail about defensive calibers and penetration than I ever could. So that's why I'm just going to put the link down there. It's not worth my time. So now, another option, benefit I should say, of the AR-15 is the accessories you've got on it. Okay, just about everybody these days runs with some type of red dot or holographic sight, something like that, for aiming. Much easier, much simpler in low light conditions. You get that little bead on the front side of your shotgun. You know, kind of hard to see. You've got other options, but most folks who run an AR, they've got some kind of optic on it these days. So that's going to make sight acquisition very easy. I've also got a laser on mine as well, which I don't use a lot, but let's just say the batteries went dead on this. I need to grab it. Well, I've got a laser to back up too. So one is done, two is one. Got backup sights as well. So I got 3 options there to get on target. Obviously, a rifle's a lot easier to shoot and get on target than a handgun. If somebody's coming down my hallway and I'm looking down my red dot here, center of mass, pull the trigger, you're going to hit them. And of course, it's very easy to attach a flashlight. So, see my M-Force there, which I've just added. This is a low-cost build rifle I've got, but just showing you what you can do with little bit of thought. You got a flashlight to identify your target. You got an accurate weapon with a lot of ammunition that's easy to shoot with very simple follow-up shots, with the least penetration and over penetration, rather, of any of the defensive options that are commonly considered out there. So how is this not a win? How does the AR-15 fail as a home defense tool? I don't think that it does. I think it's a great option. Obviously, I'd love to hear your comments below. But I think an AR-15 is a good option for just about anybody, as long as you live in a state where you can own one. Sucks if you can't have 30-round mags, too, or 40 for that matter. MD Prepper out.